You're good.
Here.
What?
We're just glad you're here. You look good. That's what I feel good.
Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for October 13th, 2021 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my far left is Skip Sweeney and Brandon Dines. I'm Ivan Valentic. To my right is Chris Jarrell and Jim Rowe. To our far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. Under the voice of council, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. So if you plan on speaking, please stand and raise your right hand. Okay, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do. Thank you. Please be seated. When presenting your case or commenting, make sure you come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, and also confirm that you've been sworn in. Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes.
Great. Tonight we have 3 appeals. 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny appeal. If a request is denied, then Heather can help you. First on our agenda is conditional use permit 2021-19. Zapatelli Enterprises Inc. is requesting a conditional use permit in accordance with section 13.28 to operate an automotive service establishment for the property located at 9862 Johnny Cake Ridge Road. They've asked that this be tabled until our next meeting, so this one will not be going forward this evening. Next is variance number 2021-92. Chinetti Salvo is requesting a variance from section 17.04A to allow for the construction of an accessory building to be located with a 29-foot riparian setback in lieu of the minimum 75-foot required for the property located at 11851 Christian Avenue. Mr. Salvo, if you'd like to come up and present your case.
Good evening. My name is Trinity Salvo, and I reside at 11851 Christian Avenue, Concord, Ohio, and I was sworn in this evening.
Thank you.
I am here to request the variance to be appealed for the accessory building placed on our home residence due to the location of the setback. If you're familiar with the address, there is a 30-foot drop to a creek, which is also, I guess, placed in terms of how they are zoning the riparian establishment for the feet, the 75 feet. This location where we are trying to place the accessory building, which is a shed, it's a 12 by 24 shed, is actually in the placement of a previous shed that was there for about 30 years when I resided there as a young child. So it's just replacing an old shed that was there.
Okay.
Also, the main reason...
I'm sorry, can you just state your name?
Sure, Rob Snyder. I also reside at 11851 Christian Avenue, and I've also been sworn in. The area that we're looking at here, the main reason for the shed is we have a pool, an above ground pool. So storage purposes, things like that. We've kind of run out of space with having 2 children. It's something we wanted to do a while ago, just weren't able to, and now is the time to do it. So that's why we're here. Based on the layout of this, if anybody has seen the property directly behind me on 608, that property has been deemed a flood zone. So with that being said, I am 35 feet elevated from that flood zone area. So I think that's basically about it.
And so you're above the flood zone, and it was a shed located there before. So is it like gravel now, or turf, or?
Yeah, it's a small pea stone.
Okay, and you're not cutting down any trees to put the shed in?
No, the land itself has not been tampered with in over 40 years.
Okay.
What was the size of the prior shed?
The prior shed was 10 by 16.
You grew up in the house?
I did.
Did you really?
Yeah, since 1978.
When it was first built?
Yes, my parents
Wow.
were the original homeowners.
That's great.
Anyone else have any questions?
There's a small structure when you're facing the house on the right side.
In the
In the
backyard?
back. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yes.
that was when I took down the bigger shed because it was old.
Mhm.
I got a small shed, and this is, 15, 16 years ago that I put on the right side because then I utilized that area as a play area for the children.
So it's like a playhouse, it's another accessory structure
That is coming down.
that is coming down.
Yes, that is coming
Perfect.
down.
Okay.
Also, originally when I was coming here, I was under the impression that I needed a variance for my neighbor because I thought I was going to be a little too close to his property. Heather actually came out and we did some measurements, and I'm actually 13 feet away from there. But I do have a signed letter from my neighbor Ken Screva, who has no issue with the shed going there.
Okay,
Great.
you can give that to Heather so it ends up being part of the record, that'd be great. I don't have any other questions, do you guys? Good cut and dry.
I think, yeah.
Jim, do you have any questions? These guys are good down here.
No, it, seemed pretty plain.
I would agree. Okay, you could be seated. Is there anyone else that's speaking for this appeal that'd like to come up? Is there anyone else that's speaking against this appeal that would like to come up? If there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2021-92 is now closed to the public. Can I get a motion to approve variance 2021-91?
So
Or,
moved.
I'm sorry, -92.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion for the board?
No, I think he said he's taken down the other shed, and that should be a condition to granting it if we do decide to grant it, I guess, would be just so there's not two accessory structures there on the property, but. I don't have anything.
I'm in favor of it. It's just open one anyway. Okay. All right, if there's, that's it, then can I get a, can I get a vote for variance number 2021-92, or, yeah, the -92, a yes vote approves the variance, a no vote denies the variance. Heather, could you please call the vote?
We want to move to essentially amend it saying that the condition is that the structure be removed.
Oh, you want to add that? Okay. So I will have a motion that we add a condition that the second structure is removed prior to installing this structure.
So
Correct.
Correct, okay.
Yes.
Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes?
Mr. Dines?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
And Mr. Valenta?
Yes. The variance has been approved, thank you. Next on the agenda is variance number 2021-93. Osborne Real Estate Services LLC is requesting a variance from section 29.04B1 to allow a table service restaurant to have 14 parking spaces in lieu of the minimum 65 spaces required for the property located at 7649 Cryo Road. Mr. Alcott.
Yes, Rick Osborne Jr. Office is at 7400 Center Street in Mentor, Ohio, and I was sworn in.
Thank you. Chris, you're gonna,
I'm abstaining from the vote, yes.
okay,
Sorry,
so,
sorry, Rick.
so going forward, you'll have 4 members. Are you okay to proceed with 4 members of the board instead of 5?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, Mary's Diner is looking to occupy the pet value space at the plaza right in front of Starbucks. That plaza, we feel, is because of the square footage that we're occupying, which is 3,200 square feet. Half of that is a kitchen space that's within that square footage. So the requirements that are needed for the actual square footage is going to be a lot less. What's required is, or what we have there is 269 spots. What's required is 333 spots when you add all the square footage in. We also feel, well, first of all, I wanted to just tell you that Mary's Diner is a very family-friendly restaurant. They have 3 locations right now, and they are growing throughout the county. They have one in Geneva. They also have another one in Madison that they recently opened about a year ago. Each one of their stores are very, well done, well lit, very nice and kid friendly. The idea here is they would be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week, and they would service breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But the peak time is really in the morning, and we feel like the parking's adequate. I have the landlord present as well, and he would be glad to attest to any of that, and is in favor of having this restaurant there. Thank you.
Have you, there's a few other places in that building. Have you spoken to any of them, or is the landlord, are they aware of the restaurant coming in? And that, there'll be, sounds like some more shared use parking? Has there been conversation?
I have not spoken to any of the other tenants that are there. There's one vacancy that I'm aware of, but everything else has been, been there for a while.
Okay.
How many tables are there?
There's approximately 60 seats, and they're ranging from booths to, there's a real large, when you walk into this facility, it's a diner car. And the diner car is gonna be set up where you go in and really unique, totally custom built. Two big tables in the back, and then along the side there's seats.
You have square footage, the vacant space there, what's the square footage of that? Not Mary's Diner, but the other vacant.
Just
About 2,000 square feet that's remaining in the plaza.
Any prospective tenants lined up for that?
Not that I'm aware of.
So if that vacant space comes in and it's more, it's food service, will that really skew the parking?
Depending if it was carry out, but it would definitely impact additionally than more than it is now. And a lot of the restaurants that are there are carry out too, which helps. People are coming and going pretty quick. Ideally, if we had another typical retailer, it would be better for the plaza. But again, you just don't know.
Yeah, my only concern is how does that impact the other businesses in that plaza? Having potentially less parking available at some times of the day. I'm all for maybe having less parking, but would hope that other tenants are on board with maybe parking being tight at times. Jim, do you have any questions?
No, the one thing, Rick, your letter makes a lot of sense that this type of place will probably be more popular in the morning hours. Not that they won't get some, obviously, but the other places, Burger to Beer or whatever, is not heavily traveled.
Yeah, they're open late at night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that kind of swings things that, and even, I don't know, Subway and some of those, I don't know if they're too much in the breakfast trade or so.
It just depends anymore. Every place seems to be on their own little page.
There's no guarantees, for sure, but
If
I
they're
mean,
open.
it makes sense in a way with the number of spaces available that this could be a workable situation. Not to say that there won't be a day come along that everybody goes out for early, whatever, but, that's the only
I
thing.
drove by there tonight and there was easily 40 spaces open, if not more. I mean, there's just a lot of spaces. And we're gonna make sure that all the employees park in the back.
Yeah, that's all, yeah. Well, as I say, that's the one thing I keep musing about, bouncing the numbers. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I get it. I think it's a big ask, to be quite honest. I mean, because I go over there all the time, I'm sure we all do, right? And there's not a ton of parking. And if you get another tenant there, what are they gonna want? And then, you know, I think I'm looking at the Mary's Diner here proposed. I mean, that particular tenant, if this is accurate, building 2, unit 3, that's 3,700 square feet gross area, 3,200 usable, which puts that bigger than any other facility there, even bigger than Burgers to Beer. So it does get crowded and get everybody there. I mean, I think it's a concern. And I realize you don't have anywhere else to put people.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You've got 2 outbuildings there with Chipotle and Starbucks, which confounds the parking issue even more, I guess, because I know everybody shares those spaces, whether technically they should or not, right?
And I know Burgers to Beer has more seats. They got their outdoor patio and they can just take more people.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Which we gave them a variance for that years ago to add more people to their place.
Mr. Osborne, I would just say that when you go to fill the rest of that building, hopefully that happens sometime soon, that you come back to the zoning department and you talk about a real strategy on how whatever that use is and how it, you know, you've coordinated with the tenants and how it really fits in the overall parking plan. Depending on what it is, and that it makes sense with the parking requirements that they might need, and that we're not impacting the other tenants of that plaza.
I would be glad to push that along to the landlord.
Everyone good then?
Yeah, maybe there's some other people speaking.
Yeah. All right, thank you. You can
Thank
be
you.
seated for now. Is there anyone else speaking this evening for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? Okay. Well, if there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2021-93 is now closed. Can I get a motion to approve variance 2021-93?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Skip. Discussion? I mean, I'm kind of with Brandon's, that's a big ask, I think, large percentage. You look at just the variance with the new,
I'm not good at math, but I think it's about 64 spaces. Parking lot's got 269, required is 333. That's 64, 65, the restaurant requires 65. Certainly don't want to dissuade a tenant from coming to the community and coming in. And certainly, I'm sure it's a use that everyone's going to be excited about.
yeah, I think it's a great ad. I just want it to still be convenient for the restaurant, the people coming to the restaurant and the people that use the other facilities there.
I think in part for our board's purposes, the concern we have to be mindful of is traffic and parking and that congestion that might occur there. You know, it's up to the landlord to appease his other tenants and do what you've got to do. I mean, it's, you know, they're gonna, whatever their issues may be, they're not here speaking,
Right.
but,
All right. Jim, you have anything you want to add?
No?
Okay. Skip, you good? All right.
So I'm not allowed to talk at all, right?
Right.
you said you recused yourself, right?
You're not here.
All right, well,
Leave it to Chris.
leave it to Chris. We'll have a discussion later. Okay. If we're all set then, the question is on approval of variance, appeal number 2021-93. A yes vote approves the variance, a no vote denies the variance. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Dines?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
And Mr. Valente?
Yes. Your variance has been approved. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the approval of minutes. We had, I guess, yeah, we have everybody but, I guess Todd's not here, so. You weren't here, so you'll abstain from the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from September 8th, 2021?
So moved.
Can I get a
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussions to additions or deletions to the minutes?
Just commend Ms. Melton again on a wonderful job, as always. She's always impressive with her minutes, and I think she should be commended once again publicly.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Here, here.
And Brian.
Here, here.
All right, thank you. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, with no modifications, say aye. Aye. The minutes are approved from September 2021. Our next meeting will be on November, I believe, 10th, 2021.
Somewhere in the early part there.
The Board of Zoning Appeals meeting is now closed.
All right, Chris, I'm dying to know.